Hey there! Let's walk through a step-by-step process to update network settings using profiles in Jamf School. Let's start. My school's IT department has decided it's time to change the password for our school's Wi-Fi. First, before the password changes, I'm reaching out to my network administrator and having them create a new temporary Wi-Fi network called Temp Wi-Fi that we'll use to make sure devices maintain a network connection during the process. I've also instructed them not to change the password until I tell them I'm ready. Once they have the temp Wi-Fi network made, we can deploy it to computers and mobile devices with profiles. Let's deploy the iOS profile first. From the Jamf School dashboard, navigate to Profiles, Overview, and click Create Profile. Select iOS from the platform list, then select Device Enrollment and click Next. I'm naming this profile iOS Temp Wi-Fi. Then click Next, and then Finish. Click the Wi-Fi payload to the left and click Configure. Enter the network information for the temporary network. In my case, the network SSID is Temp Wi-Fi. Make sure Automatically Join the Target Network is selected. My temporary network is using a WPA2 password, so I'm choosing WPA/WPA2 Personal from the Security Type pop-up menu and entering the password. Once the settings for your temporary network are configured, click Save in the bottom right. Then click the Scope payload to the left. Make sure not to add any other payloads to this profile, as network settings should be kept alone in a profile. Scope this profile to the same group or groups that the main Wi-Fi settings have already been deployed to. In my case, I'm choosing my All Mobile Devices group. Then click Save on the right. The temporary Wi-Fi network profile has been created and it'll start to deploy momentarily. Next, we'll want to create the same exact profile for macOS. For the sake of time, I've already created my macOS temp Wi-Fi profile and scoped it to my computers using the same settings for the temporary Wi-Fi network. Next, we'll need to create a couple of smart device groups to slowly remove the original Wi-Fi network profile from devices only when they've received the temporary Wi-Fi profile. Navigate to Devices, Device Groups, and click Add Group. We want to make a group that will display the devices that don't yet have the temporary Wi-Fi profile. Once again, let's start with our mobile devices. I'm naming mine Mobile Devices Without Temporary Wi-Fi. Make sure to use the word temporary in the name or some other unique word. You'll see why in a later step. Then click Smart Group. Click Next through each of the next 4 screens until we reach the Members screen. Leave Match All Rules selected to the left and click Add Filter. In the far left pop-up menu, scroll down until we see a criteria named Managed Profile Installed, and choose it. In the middle pop-up menu, change Equals to Not Equals. Then in the right pop-up menu, choose your mobile device temporary Wi-Fi profile. In my case, mine was iOS Temp Wi-Fi. We need to add one more filter to make sure this group only finds mobile devices. Click Add Filter. In the left pop-up menu, choose the device type criteria. Leave the middle pop-up menu set to one of the following. And in the right pop-up menu, choose all of the mobile device types, including all types of iPads, iPhones, iPods, and Apple TVs. Your options may look different than mine depending on what types of devices you have enrolled. This will populate this group with any mobile devices that haven't yet had the temporary Wi-Fi installed. Click Finish to save the group. Then, click Members on the left, and click Save Scope to confirm the scope. Now we need to make the same exact group for our computers. Again, for the sake of time, I've already made this group. Follow the same steps as earlier to create a new smart group using the Managed Profile Installed criteria, Not Equals, and then the name of the macOS temporary Wi-Fi profile created earlier. The second row should contain the device type criteria, one of the following, and any Mac device types in your fleet. Now we need to modify the scope of the original Wi-Fi profiles to use the smart groups we just created. This will ensure that our devices will maintain their network connections to the original Wi-Fi until they have the credentials for the temporary Wi-Fi. Let's first do it on the original iOS Wi-Fi profile. Navigate to Profiles, Overview, and select the original profile for deploying Wi-Fi settings to your iOS devices. In my case, it's iOS Wi-Fi. Click Scope on the left. Delete the current scope by clicking the red trash cans in the top right of any configured groups. Then click the plus sign to add a new group. Add the smart group for mobile devices we made in the previous step. Mine is called Mobile Devices Without Temporary Wi-Fi. Then click Save. Now we'll need to do the same thing for our original macOS Wi-Fi profile. Click Overview under Profile on the sidebar to go back. Select the original macOS Wi-Fi profile, click Scope, remove the old scope, add the smart group for computers we made in the previous step, again mine is called Computers Without Temporary Wi-Fi, and then click Save. This next step is a bit of a waiting game. We don't want to give our network team the green light to change the original Wi-Fi password until we're sure that all devices have received the temporary Wi-Fi. We can keep track of this by navigating to Devices, Device Groups. Remember when we were creating the groups earlier and I mentioned using the word temporary or another unique word in the name of the groups? This is where that comes in handy. Type temporary or the unique word you used in the search box on the top right. We should now see both of the groups we created earlier. Under the Devices column, we can see how many devices are still in those groups, meaning how many devices don't yet have the temporary Wi-Fi settings. We'll want to wait until that number reaches 0 for both groups before we have our network team change the original Wi-Fi password. If any computers or devices are taking a long time, we can always select the group and view its membership and troubleshoot specific devices as needed. Once both groups reach a device count of 0 or they've gotten low enough that we feel comfortable to proceed, we can have our network team change the password of the original Wi-Fi network. Once the password has been changed, we can work in reverse to shift all of the devices back to the original Wi-Fi. First, we'll change the Wi-Fi password and scope of the original Wi-Fi profiles back to their original scope. Navigate to Profiles, Overview, select the original mobile device Wi-Fi profile, in my case it's iOS Wi-Fi, click the Wi-Fi payload, enter the new password and update any necessary settings, and then click Save on the bottom right. Then click Scope, remove the temporary Wi-Fi group from Scope and add the original scope back. In my case, my original scope was my All Mobile Devices group. Then click Save. Then we'll do the same thing for the computer Wi-Fi profile. In my case, it's macOS Wi-Fi. Navigate back to the Overview page, select the macOS Wi-Fi profile, click the network payload, enter the new password and update any necessary settings, and then click Save on the bottom right. Click Scope, remove the temporary Wi-Fi group from Scope, and add the original scope back. Again, in my case, the original scope was my All Computers group. Then click Save. Our devices should now start receiving the updated information for the original Wi-Fi profile. For the last bit, we don't want to remove the temporary Wi-Fi settings until all of our devices are back on the original Wi-Fi. Since we're no longer using the groups we made earlier, we can edit those groups to serve our purposes. Navigate to Devices, Device Groups. We'll start with mobile devices. Select the mobile device temporary Wi-Fi group we created earlier. First, we'll change the name, click Edit on the top right, change the word temporary to original, or some other unique identifier for the original Wi-Fi. Mine now says mobile devices without original Wi-Fi. Click Save on the bottom left. Then we need to adjust the smart group criteria, so click Members on the left. In the top row for the Managed Profile Installed criteria, change the right pop-up menu to the original mobile device Wi-Fi profile. In my case, it's iOS Wi-Fi. Then click Save Scope. We'll need to make the same changes to the computer group as well. Click Device Groups on the sidebar to go back. Then select the computer temporary Wi-Fi profile we made earlier. Like before, change its name. Click Edit. I'm renaming mine Computers Without Original Wi-Fi, and click Save. Then edit the criteria. Click Members, and on the row with the Managed Profile Installed criteria, change the right pop-up menu to the original Wi-Fi profile for computers. In my case, it's macOS Wi-Fi. Then click Save Scope. The last thing we need to do is update the scope on the temporary Wi-Fi profile to the corresponding groups we just edited. Navigate to Profiles, Overview, select the profile for the mobile device temporary Wi-Fi, click Scope, remove the current scope by clicking the red trash can, and add the mobile device smart group we just edited. In my case, it's mobile devices without original Wi-Fi. Then click Save. Then do the same thing for computers. Computers and mobile devices will now remain on the temporary Wi-Fi network until they receive the updated original Wi-Fi profile, at which time the temporary Wi-Fi profile will be removed from their device. Just like before, we can keep track of the progress by navigating to Devices, Device Groups, and searching for the unique word we put in the smart groups. In my case, it was the word original. Keep an eye on the device count, and once it reaches 0 for both groups, or a low enough number that you're satisfied, it's safe to decommission the temporary Wi-Fi network and delete the temporary Wi-Fi profiles. And with that, we've successfully updated our Wi-Fi network's password without having to touch a single device. That's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one.